So, why should people that are in midlife start a YouTube channel? Not just start, must start a YouTube channel. That's what I want to share with you in this video, because with the rise of AI, there's actually a bigger opportunity for us midlifers. And if you're watching this, I'm going to assume you're over 40. I mean, what is midlife? Is it over 40? Is it over 50? I guess it depends on how long we live to, right? So I'm 53, so yeah, I'm a midlifer, and I've been on YouTube now for over 17 plus years. But the crazy thing is, in the last 18 months, I started over in my 50s, this channel, Live Video School, and I did it for a couple different reasons. I did it because, number one, I wanted to do something different. It's almost like you were at a job for 20 plus years and you wanted to change. Well, I wanted to change. I also wanted a different purpose. And so I decided to do it. And well, so far we've grown this channel to over 37,000 subscribers, and that channel has made over $140,000. Now, it's not all about the money. It might not be all about the money for you either, but it is going to be something that as we move into our midlife, we're going to start asking these questions. I mean, let me know in the comments. Have you asked yourself that question? Like, what does it look like for the rest of my life? Let me know. So what I want to do is I want to break down 5 reasons why you must start a YouTube channel in 2026. Actually, let me go grab something out of the trunk I'm going to share with you. Remember this? We used to put a key in the car. All right, there it is. I actually wrote it down on my little handy dandy little whiteboard here, and we're going to go ahead and dig into this. So let me close up the trunk and let's get to it. Man, that trunk is heavy. All right, so as you can see, I wanted to be prepared. I mean, us midlifers, we got to write things down because we forget things. So here it is. Here's everything laid out that I want to talk about. The first thing, and this is why we have such a huge advantage with the rise of AI, is because authenticity is the new demand. Meaning everyone is trying to use AI to go faceless or to create something that they don't have to put a lot of effort into or a lot of work into. Now, this isn't a lot of work, but you can see this is authentic. I am outside in my driveway, in my classic 1973 Mustang, something that I love, but also something that you can relate to, because I want to connect with you, someone that is like me, and that's all that you really need to do. So if you're thinking to yourself like, well, I've got to have this fancy AI thing, or I have to have a clone of myself so I don't have to be on there, or maybe that's what you want to do or you think you want to do, you don't need any of that stuff, because authenticity is going to be the new demand, because everyone else is going to be doing the other. And there's going to be, I guess, a scarce resource of that. And that's where we can come in and shine. That's why I'm doing more of the videos now like this versus being in my professional studio that I built, you know, to shoot more professional videos. Because I've been doing this now, like I said, for over 17 plus years. I've built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses on the back of YouTube, and I've went down the fancy road. You don't need that. I mean, a lot of people, they think they got to have high tech. They got to have fuel injection. When this doesn't necessarily have fuel injection. So does it work still? Yeah. Does it still get up and go? Oh yeah. So you don't have to stress about that. What we need is we need to be authentic. Just like this motor. The motor does the job, and at the end of the day, it gets us from point A to point B. This one here gets you there a little bit quicker and a little bit louder, but man, it feels good. So don't stress about the equipment. Right now, I'm using the iPhone. That's it. I'm using a lav mic, and I'm using some outdoor light, and I'm underneath the hood of a 1973 Mustang. How much more basic can you get? All right, so now let's talk about this right here. Your midlife experience, that is your superpower. So right now, you need to think to yourself, what is your superpower? And you might be saying, well, I'm not really sure, Scott. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I'm just going to say this for an example. Maybe you are someone that loves classic cars and you just love working on them. That's your superpower. Maybe you've been a mechanic for 25 years. That's your superpower. So my point is, whatever you have done in the past, whether it's professionally or not professionally, but just something that you've done that you've gotten a lot of experience in, that could be your superpower. Okay, so think to yourself, all of the experience, and I get some people, they're like, I don't have anything that I feel like I have an experience in. I'm like, you've lived for 40 or 50 plus years. You've got experience in something. Another thing to do is to ask yourself, like, what do people ask me about? What do people ask, like questions about because they know that I'm a super, like classic car geek, or someone that's just been fixing cars for 30 years, or someone that's or that's been, an attorney for, real estate. And that could be your superpower. So think to yourself, what is something that you have done, like I said, either professionally, non-professionally, something that you have done or something that you've enjoyed that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in midlife. What's my purpose? I want to share that. I want to build a community around classic cars. I want to go to meetups. I want to, again, like we're going to get into some of that other stuff here, why that's important as we move into midlife. But it's just like, man, the experience, you're undervaluing yourself. You're totally undervaluing yourself. All right, so let's get into number 3, new income streams. If you are approaching retirement, maybe you're in retirement, you probably want another income stream. There's a guy right now that has a channel. It's a great little channel too. It's called Buzz's Retirement Garage. All right, and I'll link him up down below if you want to check him out. But you talk about basic, like we're talking about classic car here. We're talking about like no fuel injection. Like we're talking about all of the old school stuff. This guy's as old school as you get, and I love it. And his channel, he basically said, I am going to start a channel and I am going to document me trying to live off Social Security. And he has a little whiteboard and he writes down all of his bills and he writes down all of that stuff. How much more basic can you get? And he's got videos that have over 100,000 views. And he's now got an income stream from YouTube. Okay? So there's so much that you can do there. Now, I like to look at $100,000 as like my goal. Like I want to get to $100,000 plus off of a YouTube channel. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. We actually have, I say we, my son and I are doing this channel together. Part of my midlife was like, I want to do something fun with my son and include him because him and I have similar interests. We like video. He knows that I've built audiences in the past. So we're like, let's do something that's fun together. And that's what we're doing. But we've basically followed what I call now my 100K roadmap. And this is a very, very simple but very powerful roadmap. If you'd like a copy of that, by the way, to get to 100K, if that is something you're interested in, just comment 100K down below and I'll send it to you. It's 18 pages and it literally walks you through, even if you don't know what niche you would go into, it helps you there. It also talks about, okay, how do we build the audience? How do we keep things simple? And then how do we turn it into income streams? And this channel, like I said, we started this just about 18 months ago, and we have now crossed $140,000 in revenue. And that's just from a small channel, only 30, I say only, it took us 18 months to get there, but 37,000, it's not hundreds of thousands, it's not millions. You don't really need that. And I'm promising you this, there's an audience out there that is waiting for you to share your expertise. All right. And you do not have to make it complicated. Very, very simple. I mean, I'm not reading off a teleprompter right now. I'm just coming at you, from my heart and kind of just letting you know, like, if you're watching this and you're a midlifer, I want to get this message to you. That's all I'm doing. That's it. There's no pressure. Okay. All right. So the fourth thing is community and purpose. So like I said a little bit earlier, like I'm just using the car thing as an example because I'm sitting in it. But if I was a diehard classic car guy, which I'm not. So the story behind this real quick is I sold a 1987 Mustang GT that I had when I was 17 years old. And it was awesome. I sold it when I got married because I had to be a grown-up now. I had to sell the car and trade it in for a minivan. That's what I did. And I said, when we moved here 20 plus years later, after my kids were somewhat grown, I said to my wife, the only thing I want in our new house is a 3rd-car garage, and I want a Mustang on in that side. And she said, fine. And so I went and got a car that is a year after I was born, a 1973 convertible Mustang. And that's it. So I'm not doing this because I'm like a diehard classic car guy. I like classic cars, but I'm not doing it for that reason. But if that was your case, you can literally just talk about all the different cars. You could go to car shows. You can interview people at car shows. You can look at, like really cool cars and find out like maybe about the Mustang line and then do something about the Camaro line. There's so much that you can do that if that's your passion or if that's your thing, you could totally turn that into something. And then there would be a community that would rally around you and you'd be connecting with those people. So community and purpose, massive. Because think about purpose right now. Think to yourself right now, if everything, everything that you've done up to this point, is there something there that people are going to remember you by? Or something that you kind of put a little bit of a mark, and I don't mean it has to be a big mark, a little bit of a mark in the world, right? If there's not that and you want that, it's not too late. You can do it right now by using your experience and starting. And the thing is like, it doesn't have to happen overnight. Just one video at a time, share your expertise, share something in that niche. I do think that you should focus on a niche. That's why I was talking about like classic cars, if that was your thing. Or Buzz's retirement garage, right? He talks about retirement, but he talks about living off your Social Security. And that's what he primarily talks about. But he's built this nice little community of people. So now he has a community and he has purpose. So who doesn't want that? All right. And then so number 5 is leave something behind. And so for me, it's kind of like twofold. I'm leaving a message behind. It's almost like you wrote a book and then you left it behind, right? And people get to kind of read it later. Or in this case, we're leaving all of these videos that we're putting out there that are hopefully adding to the world. But also for me, I'm leaving and I'm documenting something to my kids. I'm documenting this with my son. So it's kind of like things that they can look back on years from now, and go, oh, wow, that was pretty cool what Dad and Scotty did. Like, that's pretty awesome. And you're going to hear some of the things we went through, some of the things we did, some of the things we tried, all of those things. So leaving something behind is also pretty powerful stuff. So should you get started? Absolutely, 125%. I think you should. And if you don't believe me that you can actually make this work with a small number of subscribers, my first channel I started 17 years ago. Yeah, something like that. I only had 1,000 subscribers and I made my first $12,500. And that was 17 plus years ago, and it still works today. And if you want to hear that full story, I'll put a video right there you can watch and you can hear all about it because I break it down just like this. Watch that video next, and I'll see you there.